I begin liking the idea of downloading a game that I haven't heard of. The burst of excitement as it downloads, while hearing good things about it. A game who's recognized for its many characters and immersive story. Ladies with gentle hands, welcome to Fate Grand Order, a gacha game based on the anime series by the same name. Hi, I'm Diamond, the guy that decided to play gacha games because he has nothing better to do with his life. And welcome to my series called Is Blank a Good Gacha, inspired by the Josh Strife Hayes series called Worst MMOs Ever. I butchered that name, fuck. Where I play different gacha games until I find the most pay-to-win game that has horrible gameplay. I'm excited to announce that this is my first ever recommendation that I ever got. This was a special occasion, so you know why in some of the clips I was dressed in a suit. If you watched my other videos in the series, you might know the format by now. If not, I'll explain. I will talk about the story, gameplay, design, music, and last but not least, the gacha system. I'll try to be as non-biased as possible, and I want to thank Ved Patel 198 for the recommendation. Maybe a subscribe might make your day. If not, it makes mine. And leave a like if you like these videos. If not, dislike. I don't. Things before opening the game. For example, this message. Context. I live in Romania, and this game has a problem with Romania for some reason. But alas, I found the APK on some sketchy website and downloaded the game. On the App Store, I saw that it has 1 million plus downloads and the fact that it doesn't have a PC port. So I used BlueStacks to emulate a phone because I don't want to play this game on my phone, for obvious reasons. Seeing the name of the game instantly reminded me of the anime Fate, and not just the basic stuff about the series. I wanted to watch the series, but we have Fate Stay Night, which is the first anime that launched in the series, but then we have Fate Zero, which is in theory the prequel to the other one. This doesn't really affect my view on the game, quite the opposite. I was pretty excited to see characters that I might recognize. Talking about recognizing stuff, I remember playing this game a long time ago, but I can't recall a thing. On download, the game has 826 megabytes of data, and after doing the necessary updates, it comes up to 1.75 gigabytes. Opening the game greets me with a button that I hate from the bottom of my heart. The data transfer button. This is pretty unnecessary to the review, but if you want to skip, this is the timestamp. I hope I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, just skip to that point. This feature, I'm sorry, microphone. This feature might be the stupidest thing to exist in an era where everyone just connects with Google or makes an account on the game's website to save their data on cloud. Let's say that you uninstall the game because you got bored of it. But then you see an interesting event going on and you reinstall it. But you set that to begin from the very beginning of the game. And you say, hey, let's get my account back. But hey, you don't have access to your previous account, which means you don't have access to your data transfer number and password. On short, get fucked. This is the worst thing that can exist in a game that a game can have. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I had to say this because this thing bugs me in a game. Now, let's begin with the review, shall we? Story. The game greets you with a tutorial that drains your character of all will to live and starts napping on the halls of the building called Chaldea. Why are you here? After meeting the characters Foe, Mash Kirillite, and Professor Lev Lenur, it is explained that you are a candidate in an experiment called the Ray Shift Experiment. The only problem is that you still have next to none experience. The three of you go to Chardea's central command room, where you meet Director Olga Mary Animusphere, as the name implies, the director of the facility. After falling asleep in the middle of the meeting, you are kicked out and sent to your room, where you meet Dr. Romani Archerman, or Dr. Roman for short. After a small talk, an explosion occurs and the facility goes wild. Alarms go off, everything falls apart, and you go to the central command room because you are worried about Mesh, who was the participant in the ray shift experiment. Entering the room, you find Mesh, and at that exact moment, the ray shift begins. You are transported to Fuyuki in the year 2004. When you wake up, you see around you the city in flames and Mesh wearing something resembling armor and wielding a shield. You are then attacked by some undead, but easily fight them off because Mesh is now a servant. Servants are people that fight for the master in something called the Holy Grail War, and the winner of this war gets the Holy Grail, an artifact that grants his owner a wish. After defeating the undead, you get a signal from Dr. Roman, and Mesh explains what happened here to him, and that the ray shift was a success. After that, we hear some screaming. That was Olga Mary, the director, being attacked. We came to her rescue, only to be scolded after the battle. But she has her reasons to why she's like that. She was a master candidate like yourself, but later she was forced to become Chaldea's director because of her father's death 3 years prior, and was pressured from all directions. Thus, your character gets sympathetic with her. Later in the story, you meet some shadow servants trained to kill you, and a servant that comes to your aid, which is a caster named Rushulain. I'm just gonna say right now, sorry for all the mispronunciations, I'm bad. After winning the battle, the caster explains the situation. Apparently, the humans disappeared, making the servants go crazy, besides the caster, and the winner of the war started it again, only to defeat them again, corrupting them in this way. But before getting to the winner of the war, which was Saber, Caster offers to help Mesh to use her noble phantasm, which is like an ultimate if you want to take it this way, and succeeds. Getting closer to the Holy Grail, they defeat the Saber's guards and then meet her, Altea Alta, the Saber. Before she died, she said that the Grand Order has just begun. Olga was worried, but before getting the Holy Grail, a man reveals himself, Lev Lainor. Olga was excited, but not the rest. Getting closer to the Holy Grail, Lev told Olga his plan to kill Dr. Roman, Olga, and everyone in the facility. Then kills Olga using the ray shift technology. Lev then introduces himself as Lev Lainor Floros, tasked with the destruction of humanity in the year 2005. After that, Dr. Roman does an emergency ray shift, thus saving the remaining survivors, those being you, Mesh, and Foe, which was with you from the beginning. Look, I tried to focus on the story, but it was uninteresting as hell. I bet the game gets better at the chapters 6 and 7, but reaching that is about done. Oh, and by the way, I stayed on the prologue 3 days! Playing for 1 to 2 hours! I told myself that the first chapter is not going to be that bad, but oh god, I spammed that skip button so much. From what I understood in that chapter, we have good Jeanne d'Arc and bad Jeanne d'Arc, and we're in France. That's all. Even for that story, I stayed too much. I think around a week, 2, 3. Honestly, when I began being attached to Olga, the story said fuck you and killed her. Now, was it good? It could be worse, but I can give it more than 2.5 out of 5. Initially, I wanted to give it a 2, but I give it a 0.5 more because of Olga. Gameplay. Each character has 5 attacks of 3 types: Buster, Arts, and Quick. You can bring 3 servants on the battlefield and 3 in reserve, and you get 5 randomly attacks from the 15 available ones. 15 available because you have 3 members on the battlefield and each of them has 5 attacks, blah blah. Depending on which type of attack you begin the chain with, you get a bonus. Buster increases the overall damage, Arts increases the rate at which you get energy for the attacking character, and Quick allows for all the attacks to generate critical stars, which are randomly distributed between the 5 available attacks, each one giving a 10% chance to hit a critical stat. Selecting the same types further increases the bonus. Choosing 3 attacks from the same character would allow the character to attack a 4th type. And yes, you are forced to choose 3 attacks. Besides attacks, you have character skills, your skills, and art. To have them available, you can use skills at any time in your turn, and your character's ultimate if they have the NP bar filled, NP being the Noble Phantasm. Depending on the level of the ultimate, you can go past 100% to make the ultimate even stronger. This game has a linear progression in the form of stages, like Honkai Impact 3. Finishing a story quest would open a free quest that if done 3 times, you get 1 Saint Crystal, the equivalent to 60 Primogems. Getting a copy of a character would increase the ultimate level of that character, and you can equip craft essences on your characters to become even stronger, but this increases its cost. You have a limit of how many members you can bring in your team, that being represented in the form of cost. Going over the limit will not allow you to enter the stage. But if you look at this image, you might see that on one of the slots is written support. That is because this game forces you to get a random character from Marshall that is at the end game. I get it. You want your community to help each other, but don't force it down my throat. Oh, I forgot to mention, you can extend your characters, increasing its level cap. And yes, your characters have their level cap. You can increase your skills levels as well, and the craft essences level too. I'm not going to talk about the events, because I can't participate. And even if I can, I want to finish the story first, which honestly will never happen. My score? 2.5 out of 5. You just choose the same colored attacks or from the same character and spam ultimates and you're done. Forcing the support character, which is busted, also just gets rid of all the difficulty that you might find. But you might say, oh, is it that good because you can focus on the story? It doesn't really matter if you don't really care about it. Oh, and something else that the game doesn't explain properly. The classes counter each other in the style of rock, paper, scissors. If we ignore the fact that we have like 4 different rock, paper, scissors that counter each other in the most idiotic way possible. Design. Okay, let me look at my notes real quick. Let's see, we have ultimate animations are kinda okay, some animations are bad, you are not cluttered but hard to navigate, notification hell, too many almost naked lollies, almost naked characters, character designs on another level behind intention, inconsistent art style, the book became a fucking child. What the f— do I even have to say anything? Just an idea. My mother comes from time to time in my room to talk about family stuff. It will be an interesting discussion whenever she will see this on my screen. Some animations look weird, and some 3-star ultimates look better than 4-star ones. Every time you finish a quest, you get a notification on the top of the screen, which, if many, they are distracting as fuck. And do you know the red dot on the top right of an app that shows you that you have a notification? I fucking hate it whenever I see it on the summon button, because it's just a friend summon that you can easily get a 10 point. But guess what? That dot appears even if you have only 1 pull. Remember what I said about ascending? I honestly love it in this game, because it changes the character's appearance. I'm going to ignore the fact that some characters get clothing, while others seem to lose it. And yes, the book indeed became a child. Oh, and let's talk about a bit more about character design and Why are these kids almost naked? Yes, this is fucked. Remember when I complained about character design in Genshin? Yeah, I'm an idiot. This game has worse character design than any game I've ever played. It's unappealing. I'm 21 for fuck's sake. And guess what? I was forced to use some of these characters because I didn't have any other available. Final score 1.5 out of 5. Only because of the Ascent stuff. Music. I have written in my notes that the music was okay, but I don't recall any song from that game besides the beta theme. If you're okay with the idea of hearing the same song in every battle, I'm still going to give you some songs to listen to. we have two good songs, which were this one, I don't know how to say its name, but it's like the anime opening, and Fate, Grand Battle. Chaldea is annoying, Familiar Melody is annoying, Better Theme 1 and Better Theme 1 are, all of them are annoying. And yes, I just remembered these songs while doing the script. Final score 1.5 out of 10. Gacha says, oh boy, how does a game has worse gacha than Genshin? Fuck it, then literally a rigged game of poker. Guess how many pulls do you have to do to get a 5-star character in this game? If you guess anything less than 330, you're dumb. I think the pulls don't even retain between banners, and even if they do, guess how many 5 stars I would gotten from Genshin if I would do 330 pulls? Around 3, which is more than 0 from what I know. Look, I don't expect this game to throw me 5 stars like Borderlands 3 is throwing legendaries at me. But even after finishing the first chapter of the game, I gotten 0. Hi, it's me, Diamond, while doing the editing. And this is why I look different. Right at this power, I said something like, "Hey, I haven't gotten any 5-star characters." Apparently, I'm lying. If we look here, we can see in the Spirit Origin list that I have another 5-star that I gotten. Alter Ego Bazet Fraga Mek Remitz. I hope I've said her name right. Yeah, I was lying, but this doesn't really affect the score at all. So yeah, my bad, everyone. 5-star characters. And I'm not gonna include Saber that I got after finishing the prologue, because that was more of a, hey, you finished the prologue, you get a free 5-star of your choosing. The gacha system gets a 0 out of 5, plain 0. It's fucking horrid, and not only because of the whole gacha thing and the fact that I didn't get a 5-star, and because it uses the same thing as the mini gachas use, that you have the paid currency separated from the free currency, which is dumb. Before getting into the conclusion, let's read some reviews and tell my personal opinion on them. Morgan Dodd says, the devs created a meta for the game that was unintended and have been attempting to course correct ever since. What results is a game that's become a chore to play with enemy gimmicks that aren't fun. For a game so story heavy, gatekeeping said story behind the enemy skills that are inconsistent and unfair to the player makes for a frustrating experience. The devs pursued the worst for the meta, and the game has suffered as a result. 1 star. Perry C says, cause the stories are great, graphics is cool, and gameplay is amazing, and the servants were great. The drop rate for the servants is high too. The game is generous in rewards too. My current team is Koyanskaya of Dark and Citonai. Good job creators, I love this game. 5 stars. Levi Foster says, I used to really enjoy playing this game, but I unfortunately have to give it a terrible rating due to recent problems. I haven't been able to play it for several months now due to constant crashes after and often before reaching the title screen. I have done everything I can on my end and have confirmed it isn't a hardware issue, yet I and many others are suffering from this problem. I have missed out on numerous events and limited time summons because of this. 1 star. A Google user says, simply love this game and everything that Fate as a series is. Consider me hooked on the story, events, and characters. Even had an issue with my game and couldn't get my account back, but the support team came through for me. Simply awesome. I can't wait to get more of my favorite servants and enjoy the simple yet complex gameplay. With great characters and a system that's friendly to free-to-play players, you have a game that other developers should take notes from. Thank you for this great game. 5 stars. Some of the reviews seems biased, honestly. I have to agree with the first one. In one of the betas, the boss reached his ultimate in 3 turns, then proceeds to one-shot one of my characters, which was resistant to its class. High drop rates for 7s is semi-true. Yes, I got many 7s ranging from 1 to 4 stars. But if the characters he's referring to are 5 stars, then he's bullshitting. Conclusion: 1.6 out of 5. I wanted to give it a higher score, but couldn't. This game has got to be the worst one I've played. This score is after finishing the first chapter and the prologue. If I'll ever reinstall this game, I might update the score, but now I can't do anything about it, because I want to review other games as well. This is my score for this game, entering in the not recommended category. There are better stage progression gachas. If you want me to review your favorite gacha game, leave a comment. If you like the video, like it. If not, dislike it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content. I was Diamond, and I wish you a bright day.